Hi everybody, this is Melissa Robinson and I'm taking a moment to show you how to use our thin cuts and also telling you how I store them for those of you who are interested. So to get started here, one of the ways that I like storing them, and obviously it's using close to my heart products, is that you can buy one of the Everyday Life albums, which I'm not sure the measurement, but you can keep in mind that these are 6x8 pocket pages. So you can get them in this striped and then sometimes in other colors. Bashful is currently available, but I think it's on back order. But what you do is we have some different pocket pages that you can buy that are suited for photos and memory keeping, of course, but I have chosen to also use them for storing my thin cuts so that when I want to take them somewhere, I can easily grab this album. So this is a 6x8 album, as you can see here, and this box, I forget the exact name of it, but this thin cut is on special this month and is totally adorable. I've highlighted it in some artwork that I've shared on my blog not too long ago. So this is a 6x8 pocket page, and you can see how it just fits in there nicely. And I'll show you the magnetic sheet in just a moment. And then here, this is a pocket page as well, but what it does have is 2 spots for 4x6 photos. Well, you'll see here that the magnetic sheet for some of our thin cuts actually fit with inside of it. Now, it is a tight fit. Some people choose to trim off about 1/8 of an inch with the paper trimmer so that it slides in there nicely. But let's see if I can do this. I just pretty much keep them inside, and then I just slide out the thin cuts as I need them. So this is magnetic. There are some die cuts out there that don't have or come with magnetic sheets, and they're also a lot more pricey than what ours come with. So it's nice that there's a great way to store them. And so you can just see here that I have a variety of them stored again in this little mini album. So forgive me for the noise that's coming from the outside. We've got some construction stuff taking place. All right, so that's a great way to store them. So I wanted to show you how to actually use the Cuttlebug or other die cut machine. There's Big Shot. There's a variety of other types of machines that you can use. This is just the one I have. It's compact, it's heavy, but it's easy for me to transport if necessary. So when you buy your Cuttlebug, it usually comes with an A plate and usually 2 B plates. And you can see how these are well worn and I probably need to invest in more. But what you can and want to do is, if you're going to use thin cuts, you need a slightly thicker plate that is called a C, and you can find them on Amazon, Cricut.com, and I can actually find them at some local scrapbook stores around here. But you need that because it needs a little bit more depth than maybe your embossing folders, etc. You can also use some cardstock or other creative ways to create a shimmy, if you will, to create that added dimension. And there's also, you can buy let me grab this here, a magnetic plate as well that's an addition to what comes in the kit itself, but you can see that my thin cut is adhering nicely to that. So you layer it on top of the other plates for placement, and then your image doesn't move. You can also use some washi tape in order to place your image on your paper if you're trying to be strategic about how much paper you're using. I typically just roll with it. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this alone for right now, the magnetic sheet. And I need an A, a B, and a C plate. On one of the sides, I think you all can see there, this is the side with the blade. It's a little raised. So you'll obviously want that size down onto your paper so that it cuts there. But you can see that it also makes the impression on your mat, trying to think what it's called. The plaque is what it's called. But then you'll turn that over and it'll go through your paper and kind of mar up your plate there. So it is what it is, and you invest in another one when you need to, which kind of looks like it's about that time. So I'm going to open up the Cuttlebug and kind of turn it here. And now when you open it up, there are little suction cups on the bottom. It's not sticking too well to this little table that I'm using, but depending upon the surface, those little suction cups will make it adhere to your table so that it doesn't slide all over the place. There's also, let's see if you can see that, a little cranking arm here, which I am going to use to crank through my image. And so my A plate will go down first, and then I'm going to put my B plate, then my piece of paper, because remember that that blade is going to be what cuts through my paper. So I have that face down, so I'll mess up the one that's really messed up. And that's a B plate, and then I'm going to put the C plate on top of there. Actually, I'm going to move this in case I can get a few more of those little tags. I'm using that tag to make a little artwork item that I'll share on my blog later today. So then all you do is kind of slide it through so it gets a little bit of start. And then, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm going to crank it through there. And I tend to do it forwards and backwards. You do not need to do it both ways. The only reason that I do that is so that it comes back out the side on which I'm at. So when I remove all those plates, you can see here that I have a nice little tag that is cute that I didn't have to put much effort into creating. And now I can stamp something great on there. I'm going to put a little sentiment, and again, you'll see that some artwork that I'll be sharing on my blog. But the other nice thing about this is because our stamps are see-through, there are some stamps that we have that exactly match this tag that I could stamp on there and you see through for accurate placement. So I could get a nice little border, or again, the reason for thin cuts is so that on some of those images that match some of our stamp set images, that I can just stamp it directly on there and not have to fussy cut. Fussy cut meaning when you have to cut around an image, and sometimes you leave a border, sometimes you don't. But with thin cuts, with a few cranks of the little arm here on my Cuttlebug, I get a nice and crisp image that then I can do some cute stuff to. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will be happy to share the links or the information to those items that I shared for storage, or any of those other thin cuts. But remember, those thin cuts are 50% off. I'm sorry, they are not. I wish they were. But they are anywhere from 20 to 30% off depending upon what you buy. It is a great price, normally priced, but even better this month. So hopefully that helps those of you that are new to thin cuts and the Cuttlebug. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will be back again soon.